Doing endless of exercises, more sets and more reps will not help you grow your stubborn biceps. It will make it even worse. That's why I'm here today to tell you what I suggest so that you can finally grow your biceps and flex them endlessly. In this video, I'm going to give you exercise suggestions based on the muscles movement, as well as how to program them, sets, reps, and a few tips that I have for you and that they will really help you grow. And trust me, this is way easier and way simpler than what you think, so let's get right into it. Firstly, we need to understand what biceps even do. There are two main movements. The first movement is flexion and the second one is supination. And the cool thing to know is that they have their best leverage close to their stretch position, open hand. And what does that even mean? For a muscle to have its best leverage at a position simply means that at that position you can have the most force output with the least effort. And at the end of the day, more force output contributes to more muscle growth. Now, based on this, let me give you a few exercise suggestions, and right after I'm gonna explain you how to program them and a few tips that will really help you grow your stubborn bicep. A great exercise to have is alternating bicep curls with supination so that we can target both of the biceps functions. You just lift one hand at a time and you just rotate your wrists while flexing your biceps. You can choose to do them one arm at a time, like I'm doing it right now, or two arms at a time, standing, seated, however you like it. Besides that, choose an exercise that has a descending resistance profile. In simple words, an exercise that becomes harder at the bottom stretch position of our bicep because there we have the best leverage. An exercise I personally like doing is preacher curls with the bench. I just lower myself down and I just perform the exercise like this. If you want, you can use other exercises with easy bar, with cables, any exercise that you like. And now, if you want to target your brachialis or brachioradialis, please excuse my English, it's not my first language, you can use an exercise like hammer curls. To be honest, I don't do exercises specific for this part of my arm, but I know a lot of people like them a lot, so that's why I suggested them in this video. Just make sure you are not overdoing it on the exercise selection, because as you are going to see later in the video, more is not always better. Tip number one is to start your workouts with bicep work. As our priority is to grow our biceps, we want to start our workouts with them first. I know you've most probably been taught to start your workouts with the bigger muscles and then move on to the smaller ones, but this is not always the case. If we want to prioritize a muscle, we want to start our workouts with it first. The reason is pretty simple. If you want to prioritize specific muscle and you leave it at the end, it will most probably be fatigued from other movements, for example, any kind of pull movements, pull-ups, pull-downs. They are going to fatigue your biceps, and when the time finally comes to train them, they are going to be fatigued. Also, a very important factor, your nervous system will be more fresh at the start of your workouts, so we want to have our prioritizing muscle at the start when our nervous system is more fresh and we are more capable of going really hard. And as you already maybe understood, tip number two is train close to failure. A lot of people think that because biceps are a smaller muscle, you have to do high reps, not even go close to failure. But in reality, biceps are just like any other muscle. You have to train close to failure so that you have more mechanical tension, more motor unit recruitment, and more stimulus for muscle growth. So go and train them close to failure. Tip number 3 is to have higher frequency. Having higher frequency will of course help you hit that specific muscle more times in a week, and that will help you have more first sets, which are the most stimulating ones for that specific muscle, and that will help you have the most muscle growth possible. And now for the question you've been all waiting for, at least for the 50 people that are going to watch this video. What about the sets and the reps? For the reps, I can suggest you to do around 5 to 12 reps. I usually don't like to train at those higher rep ranges, for example 15, 20 or even 30 reps, because I find it that until the time you finally go to those last reps that are the most stimulating ones, those slow, hard reps, you are already pretty fatigued, you are not mentally in the game, and it's very hard to train close to failure with so high reps. So I personally like having them around 7 or 8 reps. Now for the sets, I can't give you a specific number because it's based on your frequency and how close to failure you train, but I can tell you what I personally do. I personally train my biceps 3 times a week with 2 sets. It's a total of 6 hard sets of bicep work in a week. I would say that 2 to 4 sets around 3 times a week, it's a great number to follow. I would not suggest you to do those crazy numbers, 20 sets in a week for your biceps, because at the end of the day, the only thing that you achieve is fatigue, and that will cause you to not progressive overload and not train close to failure, and you will not cause mechanical tension, motor unit recruitment, and at the end of the day, you will not grow as much as you think. So don't make the mistake to bump your volume up, because most probably it will cause you to plateau. If you like the video and you want to watch more from me, feel free to click that subscribe and like button down below. No, this is not my writing. My supportive girlfriend wrote it for me, so give it a shot.